Alright guys, welcome back to Raging Loop. We finished the second feast. Old Wolf Guy is dead. I think it went well, but I don't know. Because this night we're still promised to kill Yasunada, right? So I don't think we have any agency on what to do. Which I wish I would have a little agency, because it's not going that smoothly, I feel. I feel like there's a little sus on everyone now. I really thought the Haru and Kaori, like, shield, because they are usually not really suspected ever, would hold a little better, but it looks like both of them are literally kind of suspected. Maybe not Kaori outright, but I think she's kind of leaving herself open with how active she is when she's usually not in feast. Not like they would know, but I feel like people who know her might detect that that shift in attitude. So, but we'll see. Like last time, we ended up spending an awkward evening in the dining hall. Tai-san insisted that something bad could happen in the Mr. Den, so she told us to stay inside. After that, Kanzo-san and Takumi-san came back. The former ignored all warnings and left again, but everyone else stayed inside. Takumi-san said that he didn't see Kanzo kill the old wolf guy. Just what was happening between them? Yeah, they're hinting at that. What if he didn't actually kill him? Was there some secret agreement between the locals where they agreed the old wolf guy had to live? I don't know about that part, but maybe we definitely know there is something about Kanzo and the wolf guy. So it is possible he's alive, but it's not like we're gonna get that information right away anyways. Was someone hiding him somewhere? No, that couldn't be it. He definitely died the first time. I just didn't get it. Well, Kanzo was dead the first time he died, right? So, that's the factor. We're making these deaths a little more sus. When Kanzo just does it himself, right? Soon enough, we started making dinner. I had to check for poison again, clean up, and then we all went back to our rooms. Takumi is getting checked by the snake tonight if the snake goes along with the plan. After a short silence, everyone gave each other some brief goodbyes and began going their own way. Hashimoto-san stopped them. Good general rule. Crap. I'd hoped to get a chance to eavesdrop. That meant that the secret chat he'd had at noon only happened because he figured that the wolves couldn't do much during the day. However, it didn't mean that Hashimoto-san had anything concrete. In fact, he would probably deal with potential eavesdroppers by not saying anything important if he met with someone privately. I was more curious about Takumi-san. The exchange between him and Yasunada-kun might have been extremely important. Ooh. Late at night, we passed out, then put on the wolf outfits, passed through the beast-filled mist, and arrived at the dining hall again. My injury had healed shockingly well. Healing her power sure was something. I had to remove the taping to get in the wolf costume, though. That aside... Ooh, we are taking some agency. There was a strange tension between the three monsters here. It's interesting, because Yasunada is normally a high target, but in this route specifically, he's kind of taken more of a back seat. And Takumi's come more early in, where in last route he was more important later. Obviously the big players are Hashimoto, Kanzo, and Takumi, I would say, over Yasunada. But who would we kill? I would still kill Nosato. It sounds crazy, but I know Haraki doesn't have any suspicion that he's the snake. I still think something's up with him. I wouldn't mind killing Hashimoto, though. I feel like we probably should by now. He's controlling the game too well. The spider might protect him, but it's not guaranteed. He's still an outsider. I feel like they would still value Kanzo more, even though he's doing less than Hashimoto.
でもそうでないと私は
分かってます。あなたを軽視するつもりはないんです。ただ
誰を殺すっていうのよ。じゃあ
Who are you thinking?
候補は2人。室匠さんと橋
Mm,
本雄大さんです。
it's Hashimoto. Takumi's interesting. Okay, let me think about this. Because Takumi is getting investigated by the snake tonight, probably. If we kill him, then it just wastes a snake investigation, so they don't get any bored. Obviously, Hashimoto has more control and is more dangerous overall, but killing Takumi is not horrible. I think it's, yeah, it wastes a day for the snake, so they get no new information. I don't know.
話を進めるのが上手だから。
はい。橋本さんについては、現状、宴を理性的に進めるために、
Hashimoto
大
is
き
the
な役
bigger
割を果
threat.
たしているからです。
It's do we get rid of Hashimoto now or make them basically lose a day of resource gathering? Then there's a spider. It honestly just depends. If the spider's good, would they protect Takumi, thinking that the wolves might kill the snake target? I don't know. It's on it. Both kills are fine. Obviously, we just don't want to get blocked.
それに、彼は見た目よりもかなり頭が切れる。気を抜けば、簡単に正体を見破られる可能性があります。
I think despite the advantage you get for killing Takumi, just the information advantage, it might actually just be Hashimoto at this point. I think like he's just too, like, even though Takumi being confirmed is pretty annoying, he's just too good, man. I'm threatened. I'm intellectually threatened. I think I would kill him over Takumi. I told him about how dangerous he was, citing the secret chat thing in the morning and the trick question during the feast.
考えすぎじゃないのかな。それで匠兄の方は？
彼は蛇の加護者かもしれない。
I don't think he's the snake.
え？
They did. I mean, Mochi is the monkey again, so it could hit again, but I was already suspicious yesterday, but now I'm almost certain. Why? I don't know. Let's hear it though. He was right about Meiko being the spider, so sometimes he gets stuff. Okay.
彼がまだ死ねないというのは少しだけ不自然です。死ねないだけならわかります。
I see. He's saying he's likely to die once he reveals his role. That's why he put the yet. I guess. But why Snake? It could be any role.
加えて今日、彼は安永君と密談を行いました。最初は知恵美の死でへこむ彼を励ますだけかと思ったんですが、今日の動き方を見れば、二人が宴に関して何か打ち合わせをした可能性もあるなと。
それはそうかもしれませんね。いきなり安永を呼んで話をさせましたし。
He was Snake. He investigated Yasunaga, so he could confide in him about him being a snake and forming an alliance. Could be something.
そもそも彼は本質的にはもっとオープンで密談とかは好まないはずなんです。安水という狭い場所で秘密が保てるはずがないこともよく知ってるわけですし。
それで
それがわざわざ密談を持ったというのは、相手のことをよほど信用していないとしないのじゃないか。
Well, it was relatively safe in that moment with how Hashimoto set everything up, to be honest.
つまり、彼がヘビで、昨日は安永君を調べたのではないかと思うわけです。
I mean, that's the conclusion I came up with too, if he is the snake. I mean, I didn't trust Haruaki before about Meito being the spider, and he was literally right, so I probably should, but I think the big change in Nosato... I know they're not gonna give us the chance to kill Nosato, but I'm just saying, dude. He's acting like really different than the other two routes, and we know he's not a wolf, so he's clearly has a guardian. I don't know which one, but yeah.
あともう一つ。彼はヘビに調べられたい人が挙手で募られた際、挙手をしませんでした。
Right. That is interesting.
あれ大丈夫だったよね。手を上げ損ねたけど。
それは大丈夫。後で二人とも上げてたでしょ。
Is it crazy that if Haruaki is right, like, would it be wrong to still kill Hashimoto? I mean, it's probably wrong, but this is just like skill gap talking. I feel like I'm still more scared of Hashimoto.
ただ、彼の立ち位置ならば、真っ先に手を挙げて調べられたいと思うはず。それをやらなかったのは、自分がヘビで、自分を調べる意味がないことを先入観として持っていたから。
That's actually like pretty decent logic. Kind of believing him.
自分もヘビではなく、他の人と同様の条件であることに気が回らなかったから。
Though funnily enough, again, even if he isn't a snake, since I wasn't thinking about that before, I still think my logic holds that it would be fine to kill him, since he is supposedly being investigated by the snake first, right? Like, it would still block information. I mean, if he's a snake, then it would just be great.
だから彼は、匠さんを調べるべきだという提案にも反応が遅れ、そして、そのまま反論も推奨もしないまま認めてしまった。
なるほど。確かにあの時の匠兄のものになんか引っかかってるような感じだった。
心配があるのは分かったわ。でもなぜ今日なの？匠さんは自分自身を調べたりはしないにしろ、今すぐにこの3人がバレるとは限らないでしょ。
That was a naive thing to say, but it's true, so
僕は自分をあまり信用していません。
obviously it's up to luck, but I don't think he would investigate Kaori personally, or even Haru. He might investigate us, unless they actually unless he's planning with Yasunaga and some other people. But I think the chances are of him investigating us are pretty low. Like, I wouldn't mind, like, I feel like he would probably investigate Mamiya, but
匠さんがヘビで、しかも最初から僕に疑いを持っている場合、あの提案によって逆に疑いを強めたかもしれない。
あなたの説で言えば、安永は匠さんがヘビだということを聞いたかもしれないのよね。
可能性は、ええ、あるでしょう、ね。
I thought he outright said that. Does he not think it's not 100%? Why else would he take him over and have a secret meeting if they had one about the feast?
じゃあ、安永もやはり。
No. No, we shouldn't get rid of Yasunaga. I mean, we should eventually, but he's not the target. I'm glad they're giving us options. He's still a high target, but definitely, like, not top 3 for me right now. Well, and then Hashimoto, Takumi are the right players. I mean, top 3 is Nosato for me, but for them, maybe he is top 3. No one else is really that threatening.
そうですね。
Except for Kanzo.
彼も早晩殺さねばならないでしょう。
わかりました。明日、絶対に
Tomorrow.
安永を狙ってもらえるなら、今日殺す相手は
No,
房石さ
no.
んに任せるわ。
This sounds like a decent deal, but it's actually not. Because I think Takumi and Hashimoto, like whoever we kill tonight, we kill the other person tomorrow for sure. Leaving them both around for 2 extra days are rough. Hashimoto, obviously, because he's really smart. He probably like set up a lot of stuff by then. And if Takumi is the snake and we kill Hashimoto, even though I still think Hashimoto is more dangerous, that means we let him have 2 extra days of investigation. That's too much. That's actually too much information for sure. So, fuck. If we do this deal, we have to go for Takumi, I think, despite Hashimoto's presence. I can't let, you can't let, like, as, again, I would give Takumi like 1 more night of investigation and just roll the roulette. 2 is a little too much. So,
私はどっちでもいいよ。
ありがとうございます。
however, if we killed one, we couldn't go for the other one for a while. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. This is actually a really hard choice. Today's choice was bound to greatly affect what happened next. Now, which one? We have to do Takumi. As much as I want Hashimoto, and I think he's dangerous, just too much information. It's just too much information. What? Oh, yo, this is actually a really hard choice. I feel like in most logic game choices we've had in this playthrough, I feel like we've been pretty confident. I mean, we sniped the 2 wolves last round. Obviously, I misread one of the snipes, but I still sniped it. The logic was still sound. But this one, I'm not confident at all. Now, one of these is probably a bad ending, so we'll see, like, pretty soon. Also, if you do some metagaming, which you shouldn't do for logic, but I feel like killing Takumi was probably the good ending, just because we rarely saw Hashimoto for the other parts of the game, so they would want to develop him more. So it's more likely that Takumi's killing Hashimoto is the bad ending. Again, that's not really a fair argument. That's more of a meta thing, which isn't good, but yeah, I'm locked into Takumi. I think even though Hashimoto's like the strongest player, I would say, and he can definitely manipulate the flow of the game, I think just free information really is really just too much. It's really just a little too much. Like, even if they're weaker players, just 2 free days of information. And what if Takumi reveals himself and the spider spam protects? Let's kill Takumi. And we're just gonna have to anti-game Hashimoto with logic and stuff. It's a little safer than the facts Takumi can bring, so let's go. Personally, I found Hashimoto-san to be the biggest threat. I didn't see any openings or weaknesses on him. Agreed. However, I knew full well just how influential Takumi-san was. Though he sometimes lacked confidence, once he found some, he could kill off the wolves through his initiative and popularity alone. Then there was the fact that he might be the snake. It's not even, yeah. If he's not, if it's not, we're still denying information for a night, which is still like a consolation prize. But if that was up for it, but if he doesn't turn out to be the snake and we only get the denying information, then killing Hashimoto was definitely the play. I really couldn't ignore him.
室匠さんを殺します。
わかったわ。ただし。
はい。明日は安永君を。そのために、はるちゃんにはお願いがある。
Sucks, we had to go for Yasunada.
何？
おそらく明日、安永君は再びショックを受けた状態になるはずだ。それを君が必死で慰める。できるだけ避けたいのは、彼に匠さんは実は蛇で、彼から人の証明をもらっていたと発言させること。
That would be good.
匠さんは殺されているわけで、彼が本物だということは、全員に強い信憑
If he did really tell Yasunada that and they had that conversation, if we bury that, then the snake is up for grabs. The only really bad thing that could happen is if we didn't kill him as a snake. Or he wasn't the snake, we came to be the snake and the real snake was still in the game, but it's a good enough gamble at this point.
蛇を語るのは極めて難しくなる。これはわかる？
わかるけど、でもどうするの？正直私、そういうのうまくやれる気がしないんだけど。
Just gonna have to find a way.
それは。
私がやりましょう。要は安永を宴の外で喋らせず、宴でも喋らせなければいいのでしょう。
それはそうなんですが、できますか？
母ですから、親子の会話を持つことはあまり咎められないでしょう。それに匠さんとは知らない仲でもありませんから。それで匠さんが蛇だということを聞き出したら、そうね、
Hanzo.
肝臓さんが怪しいと言いましょう。
I mean, they have that feud going currently, but why Tanzo?
自分が調べられるのを恐れて蛇を殺したのだってね。匠さんの正体に肝臓さんが気づく可能性もあるわよね。
It's pretty flimsy, but you could also tie in that's why Tanzo is more aggressive towards Yasunaga during this feast, so it's not horrible.
ええ、そうですね。みんながいるところで見せた奇妙さですから。
It sounded bad at first, but when I thought about that, it's actually decent
いい
logic.
よね。それであなたがそれを口にしたら狙われるから黙っていてくれと頼みましょう。
I might have severely underestimated her. I'd assumed she was a timid person without much of her own opinion on anything, but oh, was I wrong. I didn't know whether she was holding back or just using her imagination and proactiveness in a negative way. But she was really dependable in a situation like this.
狼ゆえに知り得たことや、先回りして、匠さんが蛇じゃないかということは、絶対に避けてくださいね。あなたが安永くんに疑われたら、元も子もない。
あら、疑われる程度ならいいでしょ。どうせ明日の夜、安永は死ぬんだから。
I had to hold back from cursing at her. A mother was intending to kill her own child, and it made me feel unpleasant. That was the right thing to feel, wasn't it?
じゃあ、私はいいのね。
そうだね。ひとまず
Just
は。
act more natural. Her sudden grin was so out of nowhere, I had no idea what to make of it, and neither did Kaori-san. See if the spider clutched up. Then we'll know this really is the bad ending. If we get a spider protect here. Tatami-san's place was close to the plaza. There was nothing out of the ordinary around it. That meant this would be our first real murder. Our first kill as wolves. Was I really gonna do this? Would the door really open? Would I really open it and carry out the deed? More nervous than I appeared, I put my hand on the door. Click. I felt it unlock. Seriously?
ちょっと、他も確かめてきます。
ちょっと。
I ran around checking several houses. The detached dwelling where Yoshitsuru-kun lived, Meito's place, Tanzo-san's place, Ratato-san's place. All of them were locked.
どうやら、最初に手をかけた家のみが開くようです。
Chess rules.
軽い気持ちでノブに触れない
Have to use the
方が良
first
さそうだ。
piece you touch.
なるほど。
じゃあもう、匠兄を殺すしかないんだ。
Yep, too late to back off now.
そういうことだ。では、開けます。
Wonder if the spider works. The door would remain locked. This would be my first time here since I investigated his corpse during the first loop. It was a simple room. There was a futon in the middle and his large body was right there. He was sleeping, defenseless. He wouldn't wake up, right?
ねえ、どうやって殺すの？
Hachi was curious if we were gonna be provided some means of killing. The murders I had known so far had been outside the norm, but they weren't something beyond human ability. But I also thought they'd been a bit excessive, assuming their sole purpose was murder. I mean, Yasunada was pretty clean. When he was the wolf, I mean. What did he do? Didn't he just like shoot people? Or Kanzo got shot? I forgot the rest, honestly. But they were definitely cleaner. I still don't know if there was something that compelled them to do that. But apparently you had to come up with your own method of murder.
この場にあるものを使おう。
Yeah, that's smart. Thankfully, we had lots of options. There were various old farming tools nearby. The edged ones, sickle, hoe, etc., etc., looked extremely fitting for the purpose. There was even an axe. It would make it really easy. An axe could destroy a human body in no time. If it's sharp,
念の
hopefully
た
it's
め
not dull.
聞きますが、やりたい人はいますか？いいでしょう。僕がやります。
Well, I raised the axe overhead. Who the fuck did the spider protect, man? Dude, imagine if Nosato was a spider and he's just spam protecting Rikako. That'd be funny. That would explain. Like, I feel like he has a guardian. It might not be the snake, but it could be the spider, the crow. That's why he's more overzealous this route. If he's a spider, he's actually spam protecting Rikako, which would be so funny. Very good for us, but it's funny. I raised the axe overhead, and he hesitated. This memory, the fact that I committed murder, would probably stay with me even if I looped. I keep this moment, this feeling, until the day I died. Until the day I die. That's a song, right? That was hardly a problem. My aim was true and the ant sunk into Takumi-san's neck. Blood burst out from the wound, then started bubbling out ceaselessly. That was definitely lethal. However, the blade wasn't too wide or large. This wasn't a broad axe or anything. Thus I swung it down again. And again. And again. His head left his body before the 10th swing. I took his head in hand. His eyes were open wide. His expression was full of anguish. At this point I wasn't sure if he'd been completely unconscious. I nonchalantly showed it to the two behind me. Applause. They actually applauded me.
お見事でした。
ご立派。
Pure joy and words of praise. My earlier sense of disgust returned. Why? Why did these people suddenly cease having a conscience the moment they became wolves? This was wrong. They were supposed to show disgust, they needed to. If they didn't, to whose standards was I supposed to adjust my conscience? Sense of right and wrong and good and evil. I'm glad you're not fully evil, though it does seem like he is sort of under the influence. I tossed the head on the floor. I then held it in place with my foot. Cut it with the axe over and over. Yep, see? He's like blood rage, man. Struck it over and over. It was almost completely unrecognizable now. I kicked away the damaged skull, still covered in flesh and hair in places. It was heavy, so my leg hurt, and I left a pool of blood where it rolled. Before even looking at it, I took a random farming tool and thrust it into his torso. I then took another tool and sank it into his shoulder. I opened his stomach. Okay, dude. This is just... Could've just chopped... Didn't even need to chop off the head, man. It was lethal on the first hit. I cut up his limbs. I don't like seeing this, to be honest. I like gore, but not like torture's POV. It's a little
もういいよ。
enough.
もういいから。
It's a little much. By the time someone stopped me, the corpse was in such a state that you'd think the corruption was responsible for it. Bro really did a more... well, it did more damage than the Mochi and Shimmy combo. I guess Mochi and Shimmy's was more painful to see. They kept the person alive, right, while they mutilated it. So at least we killed him.
ここまでしなくてもよかったんじゃないかしら。
Not even those words were out of disgust or guilt. They simply thought it was a waste of time.
帰りましょ
Still pissed, I went to the exit, not even looking back at them.
みそぎをしないと。
I felt some water hit my back, but I was too pissed to even react before leaving. Well, yeah, you're not gonna be the good guys. You're literally playing the wolf, man. It is what it is. I took off the bloody wolf outfit and just threw it on the floor. I learned yesterday that it was best to wear the costume without any upper clothing, so I was able to relax after just wiping off the sweat and changing my underwear. The room began to reek of blood, but Great Lord Shania would probably clean all this up anyway. Shit. I was pissed. Even though I knew they'd lose their sense of guilt, I was still pissed. Shit. I just wanted to sleep. But I couldn't really do that with someone knocking on my door. Who could it be? Haru. Possessed. Kairi-san, Haru-chan, Shinai himself. It was still late at night, so it couldn't be anyone else from the village. Police then? That'd be a laugh. I ignored it though, I was too pissed. More knocking. More ignoring.
おやおや。おやおやおや。
Yeah, I mean, who else would it have been than possessed Haru? Now that I couldn't ignore. I jumped up and leapt to the door so quickly I almost tripped. This was the mystery surrounding Haru-chan. The brutalization had distracted me from my primary goal here. I hadn't expected her to come to me. Upon opening the door, I saw something I really didn't expect. This was... Oh. Okay. The thing from first route.
みそぎ物意味夢見せよ不死吉の娘
Oh. But it's Haru in that outfit. That was Haru-chan? It looked different in that CG, to be fair. It looked more male. It could have been like... Oh, actually, fuck, I wish I looked at it more. I didn't know there would be a comparison. That was Haru-chan? Now that I got a better look, the physique, hairdo, and even the voice were similar. I guess it made sense, though. It probably was her. More likely than not. But why would she wear that? No, forget that. How did she make it all the way here without her wolf outfit?
驚くには値しませんぞこやつらは皆我と同類分身のようなものゆえ
Behind her. I felt the beast closer than at any point today or yesterday. No, I could actually see them. Countless eyes glowed in the darkness nearby. She gently extended her hand, a few of them looked at her, and a few even came close. The weak light from outside, the prefib lit them up. Dogs. They really were dogs. Some were white, some brown, some had long hair, some didn't have a tail. It was a pack of countless feral-looking mid-sized dogs. Okay. If that's true, which it is true, then that means the first route we actually did see someone in the costume. It wasn't actually the corruption. Because if the corruption really is just normal-ass feral-looking dogs, and it wasn't, then we definitely saw a werewolf, and we just mistook it. But it doesn't really make sense, because that was Yasunada and Tai, and that thing looked massive, right? But it was the first night, so maybe the werewolves were still picking, and that was like the Shinai representatives we saw, like in the dream when we were chosen. I don't know. It's interesting though. All of them had blood and filth on them, as well as severe wounds here and there. Their clenched teeth, furrowed noses, and widened eyes spoke volumes of the rage and perhaps even hatred within them. The girl, clad in aged cloth, didn't seem to care, standing still even as they surrounded her. Not only that, but she reached out to pet one of them.
3つの神のうち1つは
I would guess.
おおそうじゃ
Yeah.
そんなところで引っかかっておいでとは失礼いたした核のごとく獣と触れ合う他によるべもない
So not Shinai, but she said Shinai was just a mix of the three.
上がってください
Who's the other three? I feel like Meito. I know this sounds weird, but I think, did I mention this before? I feel like Meito could be a god. Just because she's like this mysterious girl who appeared on the, you know, the cursed river or whatever. No information about her. She seemingly survives. Like, we never like seen her die on screen. Like the first round she got yoinked off screen. Well, she got yoinked and maybe died off screen. And then the second round she just lives. So Meito could be a god. And I don't know. I assume old wolf guy could be a god. If we're just doing people as gods, technically. I feel like he would be the other best choice. It could just be someone who's not a person in the village too. But I guess those would be my three choices for gods. Old wolf guy, Meito, and obviously Haru is, or has a god in her or whatever.
おやおや、おやおやおや。神を招くなど、不用意にも程があられはすまいか。神隠しに遭われても知りませぬぞ。
すみませんが、僕はあなたらのルールはわからないんですよ。
ふむ。それもまたどうに。町のお方
He's an
々は
Umu user.
科学とか申す神を信じておられるのであったな。
科学は神じゃないですよ。
神でございますぞ。
Science is a god? It's a belief, so I guess it translates.
でも
There's that argument. I've heard it before.
貴様は何も信じておられるのじゃな。これはこれはこれはこれはこれは失礼をいたした。
Okay, this really was.
こちらから出ましょうか。
それにも及びませぬぞ。その薄汚い装束でこの子供を脅かさねば貴様はこちらにおいでにはなれん。敷居は結界じゃ。神語りは結界越しになさるがよい。
そういうものですか。では、いい。あなたは何者なんですか。
それはもう答えた問いであろう。
神。力なき神。それだけじゃわからないんですよ。伝承、待てよ。無事な。
Oh, she's the badger god? For the first time, she simply nodded instead of saying it. It made me uneasy.
不快な呼び名なので
She's
しょ
the
うか。
badger god.
別に正しいことじゃ。こうして信頼明神の印をつけて畜生どもの頭目として振る舞っておる我にこそふさわしい呼び名であろう。
かつては別の神だったのですね。
衝突を恐れずに言うと、伝説や神話はよそからの拝借だけじゃなく、政治的な要因も強く影響して変遷していくの。古代、神話と政治は強固に結びついていたからこそ、政治のあり方が変わるときは、神話も形を変えなきゃならなかった。集落の合体によって、それぞれが奉じていた神様が結婚したり、戦争で併合された側の神様が古文や魔物に変えられたり、あるいはかつて別々だった神様を同じ存在だってことにしたりね。
Damn, Mami was
そうやって
cooking.
力関係の辻褄を合わせたわけ。強力な神や悪魔ほど異象や変化、化身がたくさんあるのはそのため。忘れられた信仰がいくつもそこに融合されているの。今日残っているのは、そういった事情でねじ曲がって伝えられてきた伝承や神話。だから、多少の矛盾があるのは当然よ。
A forgotten god. A mountain god besides Great Lord Shinai. With the creation of Shinai faith, she was woven into it as his servant and left mostly forgotten. That was the entity possessing her.
まあそんなものじゃが 我の話などしとうてきたのではない。
Personally, I had a whole ton of questions, but since I didn't want to make her upset, I let her take the lead.
何を聞きたいと。
何故あれほど乱心なさったのじゃ。
それは、わからないのですか。
貴様がこの娘と女に憤懣を持たれたことは分かったが、その色以外はどうにも嫁なんだ。殺すのが嫌なら一撃でやめればよろしかろうし、怠慢を咎めるならば獲物を渡されればよろしかった。危機として大男を切り刻みましたでしょうに。
二人にはね、まともでいてくれないと困るんですよ。
ふむ。
まともじゃない人間の中では、僕はまともになれない。
He's like a moral anchor, I guess.
人間としての芯がない人間なものでね。
Yeah.
まともさの定義を入れ替えられると、立ち位置がわからなくなる。自分で立ち位置を変えるのは構わない。他人に強制されると腹が立つ。それだけです。
ふむ。芯がない。おかしなことを申される。貴様の芯とは、その他人に勝手にやられると腹が立つ
I mean,
が全てではないのか。
そうかもしれ
yeah,
ませ
a
ん。
little bit.
ならばなぜ我を恐れるのじゃ。怒りが全てである者は恐れも敬いもせぬものぞ。
僕はわからないものが怖い。
それはどうも正確ではないように思えてならぬ。ふむふむ。なるほど。貴様は恐怖と快楽の区別がついておらぬのじゃな。そして他人によりそれを御されるのが不快なのじゃ。どうじゃ、これでおあいこじゃな。
She took my displeased expression and silences a yes and laughed.
あなたは心を読むんですか。
宴会芸じゃ。
それで僕の記憶を読みましたね。だか
おうおうおうおうおう。バレてしもうた。
Well, we knew she knew about our looping.
煙に巻いて
But the question is,
のう
here's the big question. Is she like sentient? Like, does she remember all the loops, or did she just read our memories this loop and realize, oh, we're looping? I don't know how that affects it, but it makes her like less powerful and obviously not the cause of looping. Not that I think she is at this point. It's basically not. But I don't know. It's kind of an important differentiance.
つまりあなたやハルちゃんが死に戻っているわけではない。
Well, here we go. Just talking about it right now.
まあそういうご理解でよろしかろう。
Okay.
悔しいことに我は
Makes sense since she's like the weaker
他の
god.
神
その黒幕だという神について教えてもらえませんか。
それは
Mako.
できぬ。
Dude, imagine if it was Mako. That would go so hard for no reason. The ultimate antagonist.
なぜ。
それもこれも我の弱きがゆえに。
教えていただければ
Oh my
全
god,
てをひ
sorry.
っくり返してみせますよ。あなたの意向を取り戻すことだって。
I think for my god pool, I should probably, like I said, Mako, probably an old wolf guy, just because he's so sus and weird, and they're possible to be gods. I guess I should put Rikako in. Not that I really think it, but the fact that she does have actual powers probably should be in the god pool. It just kind of, I just didn't, because I don't think she is, but there's literally something supernatural going on with her, so she definitely should be in the pool and should be considered. And she is religious, but she definitely seems more like I don't know. She doesn't. I mean, personality-wise, she seems more like just zealous, like as a religious person. And that's like does kind of feel divine with how she acts, how innocent she is, how, and obviously with the powers. I don't know. Just wanted to throw that in there. I just realized that now while thinking about it. When she said she's powerless, I'm like, oh, you know who has powers? Haruaki? Is he? I mean, that would be a crazy twist if he was a god somehow. But more likely, like Ratato, Mako, and Old Wolf Guy. That's my pool right now.
出過ぎであられるぞ町の方
A gas at her sudden intensity.
勘違いを正して力なき神とは人の役に立てぬと人知れず災いを起こせぬということにあらずそして無力がゆえにこうして可愛らしく振る舞っておる我という神はかつて誰よりも恐れられたものじゃ我の意向を取り戻される向こう十里の人里を焼き払い人皆くくって我に恵まれるか
He was a hardcore god back in the days.
こうして話すわこのつまらぬ夜の無料を慰むためそれ以上の何も得られはしませぬぞ
So this was just a diversion for her. I couldn't consider it significant. Was that what she was telling me?
少々今日が覚めてしま
We
う
pissed her off, man.
夢夢ご承知の上
She's definitely a little mad.
お会いいたしましょうぞ
She turned around and I felt the beasts rush away.
待ってください。なぜわざわざ僕を訪ねてきてくださったんですか？
そうそうそういう話なら歓迎ですぞ町の方まあ要するに
Oh.
この娘が少々気にしておったのでな
はるちゃんが？
あんなに激高してどうしたんだろう夫妻さんは神内明神の使いとして黄泉という印を憎みながら貴様という腹からは気遣っておるのじゃ理解はできずともいたわってやればよろしかろう無力ゆえに娘も歯がゆく思っておりますぞ
あなたのことをはるちゃんは知っているので
Good
すか？
question. I assume no.
どうであろうな
Oh, maybe.
あなたにことづては頼めないわけですね。
我が力のか細きがゆえにさもなくばいくらでも夢枕に立って差し上げるが
じゃあ自分で伝えます。
ふむではな
もう一つだけ。
なんじゃ
神様、可愛いですよ。
Really gotta riz the gods, bro. It's just Shrine Maiden and Chiemi not enough for you. I mean, she's not even a Shrine Maiden, but you know, divine religious woman.
なるほどなるほどおっしゃる通りひねくれておいでじゃ
With those words as her last, she disappeared into the night mist. What a night. Definitely made the right I mean, should I peek? Shall I peeketh? Well, I guess it wouldn't really tell. I bet it's a bad ending, though. You got to. I mean, we're not going back. Hopefully, we can just ease this without dying. That's what I wanted to do before. Route 2 was really rough for that. Obviously, we had to do this. There wasn't an option. But if we can do that, that'll be cool. Round 2, we got owned. But Route 1, I think we were pretty clean for like the most part. I don't remember at this point. Anyways, we're gonna end here. Good gaming. We'll see how this goes. So next kill is Yasunaga, but it might be good if it just depends if Takemi's the snake. If he was the snake, we'll be really happy. If he wasn't the snake, then I really wish we killed Hashimoto. Even if it's the bad ending, I think the Hashimoto kill would have been worth more than just information denial. But we shall see. Thanks for watching as always. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you next time with some more Raging Loop. Later.